All right, Sway City Muay Thai podcast. We're here with Bryan the Horn, Shermerhorn. Thank you for coming on, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I am an active MMA fighter, boxer, jiu-jitsu competitor. I like to do a lot of things. Got a lot of big stuff coming up here in the future. I got a couple of sponsors I like to shout out. HKA USA, Relentless Mouth Guards, Fight Steady, and Roscoe Service Plumbers. Thank you guys all for your support. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Now, I'm mostly familiar with you from meeting at the Scrapyard, and you reached out, and we were talking about, and you're like, hey, just want to support the new company, Relentless Mouth Guards. So I can't remember if you're the very first, but you're first three for sure. First, top three. So I really appreciate that, and you do a great job with your social media. So you really promote, all of your sponsors. You do a great job with that. You do a great job promoting your self-training and your fights and all that stuff coming up. So I know you got a few events coming up, including this weekend.
Yeah.
So go ahead and fill us in on that.
Yeah. So first off, thank you for that, because I've never really told myself like I'm a big social media guy, right? And but I've seen success and failures of other people's aspects in social media, and I go, what about that I can do? Or like, how can I put my spin on things? And then after a while, I kind of just said, I'm just gonna be myself. So I was like, I'm already doing the things I'm gonna do. I might as well record it and post it. I don't care if I win, lose, it makes me look bad or whatever, or it's just funny. Like, why not? Like, that's me. You know what I mean?
Before you get any further, that is exactly how this got started. Yeah, I was like, we're always hanging out, we're always doing all kinds of shit. Might as well fucking record it. Yeah. Might as well see what happens. No, sorry.
For real, no, dude, for real. So I got a lot planned. So this weekend, Proving Grounds up in Bellevue, jiu-jitsu competition. I'm doing my weight class, which is cruiserweight. I think it goes up to like 195 to 202. Intermediate, no-gi. And then I'm also doing no-gi elite. I know one of my competitors this weekend is like a 19-year-old brown belt, so I can't wait to get absolutely smacked. So then next weekend, I'll be flying out to Boise, Idaho for Fight to Win 319. I have an opponent out there. That's huge for me. That's my first time stepping onto like that caliber of a jiu-jitsu stage.
Yeah.
So I'm real excited for that. Win, lose, don't care. Just out there to have some fun.
Yeah.
Then I'm off for a little bit. July 11th, boxing sparring tournament. And that's going to be in northern Washington, about 2.5 hour drive north of here. Then I got 2 weeks until Scrapmania, the Scrapyard's anniversary event this year. I'm going to box there, and that's going to be my last fight at the Scrapyard. Okay. So I'm really excited for that. And then, summer's just going to keep on rolling.
Cool. I have a quick question. Like, I did see your post. Like, this is going to be the last fight at the Scrapyard. What's the thoughts behind that?
Yeah, so first off, I want to say I very much appreciate everything the Scrapyard's done for me. I mean, essentially, I went there with nothing, but basically no experience, and now I fought there 4 times, about to have my 5th fight, and I think I've grown tremendously as a fighter, but also just as a person from the family environment there, meeting everybody, and then the exposure element to that as well. But to get to where I want to go, I kind of need to branch out. So this would be my last fight at the Yard. I still expect to have a couple more fights the end of this year, hopefully more like local level promotions, and then just kind of see where we go from there.
Definitely. Well, and I know Steve Fire Chicken from the Scrapyard, he really promotes that. Like, I know I was big in criticism in the very beginning, not having gone out there knowing anybody, and specifically like talking with the owner, Steve Fire Chicken, awesome guy. Shout out to my boy. But it's a lot of fun going out there, and there's huge community out there. He really promotes like, hey, like, how can I help? Like, can we get you guys into real gyms? Can we get you guys into other fights and stuff like that? And it only helps further their outlook a little bit. So like, one of my favorite people is Luther.
Oh yeah,
the Terrifier.
Yeah,
that's my dog. That is a monster of a human being.
100%.
And it's like, geez, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I think that's pretty cool, and I like that you're the understanding of like, hey, if I want to get to a professional level, or even like a high level amateur or anything like that, you need to branch out a little bit more, and you've definitely been doing that, like with multiple jiu-jitsu tournaments. I see you training at Team Mythic all the time. I know you train at Logic as well, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're extremely active. And in my opinion, that's just the way to go. Like, if you're going to be in the sport, you should definitely be all in.
100%. I'm having, 6 to 7 training sessions per week. Not every day, but there's some days where I do, 2 sessions. But yeah, I've been just busting myself trying to get out there and get after it. And I mean, with the jiu-jitsu competitions, I really like because they're kind of happening all the time, right?
Yeah.
So if I have a free weekend, because I'm a dad and I try to be a supportive husband, so I'm balanced all over the place. And it's like, hey, do I have a free weekend coming up? Is there a jiu-jitsu comp that weekend? Fuck it, we're doing it. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So.
That's the way I am for doing all these events too, because I'm like, what do I have to corner that weekend?
Yeah.
Do I have to do anything else very specific? Nope. All right,
Yeah.
I got it. I'll be there. So speaking of which, Relentless Mouth Guards will be at Redemption Cage Fights in Auburn, Washington, Green River Community College. Is it Green River? Is it?
Yeah, I think it is, right? Yeah.
And what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a booth out there. So we're going to be selling first edition Boil 'N Bites. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. We'll have some merch as well as impression kits. You can go and take the kit for the custom mouth guard. You can take it over, do the kit yourself, set it up if you want. You can mail it back to us however you like to do it, and get yourself set up for a custom mouth guard. I just want to say, don't settle for cheap imitators out there. Protect your grill. If you're going to spend $100 or $150 on a pair of gloves, you're going to spend $100 on a pair of shin guards. You're going to get a bag to carry all this stuff. Then you're going to buy a $20 Boil 'N Bite to protect the teeth. And anybody that's ever had your teeth knocked out knows that it is not cheap to get repaired. So just protect yourself. Do what's right. Hit me up. I will definitely make sure that you're taken care of. And lastly, we try to provide over-the-top, high-level customer service. So if you're not satisfied for any reason, if there's any adjustments that need to be made, if you want something slightly different, we're going to make sure that happens. So we want to make sure that everybody is getting fitted up, protecting themselves, and getting something that looks cool as well. So
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, I know that you've been really active rolling a lot lately. So what can you tell me about that between training between Logic and Mythic? Because I know Mythic is very heavy into the social media side of things as well. So you're doing something out there almost every day.
Yep.
Which again, I appreciate all the shout outs, as that means a lot to me because that's going above and beyond what you have to do. But what can you tell me about doing all these jiu-jitsu tournaments compared to going from boxing and MMA and stand up to now like confined and very strict training? Because you can't do much jiu-jitsu by yourself in the garage.
No.
Can you? You can try with a dummy.
And I have done that.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoy the jiu-jitsu training. And for me, I've now been rolling, training jiu-jitsu for, what was it, August 2024. So not quite 2 years yet. But in that span of 2 years, I've done a lot of competitions. I've trained, up to 5, 6 sessions per week for a while. I've taken some time off here and there and whatnot. But there's just something about it because it's, no matter what you do, there's so much you don't know. So it's every time I get out there and it's like, okay, I have this game plan. I'm really doing this. And I go, oh, wait, what is this position? Or like, oh, I'm trying what worked last week on this person doesn't work on this person with this body type. And it's just, there's always an answer to everything that you come up with. And it's like, man, to master this, it's impossible. And that's what keeps me interested. Because I'm someone that gets bored really easily. When I commit to something, I do it 100%. So with jiu-jitsu, it's like, hey, I can commit to this 100% and I'm never going to master it. Perfect. And I'll do it forever. Like, that's just the way that I look at it. So. But yeah, Mythic and Logic are the two gyms I'm training at right now. For the summer, I've been training at, and it will continue for all summer just because I have more availability with the kids at home. My wife works a school schedule, so she's at home all summer.
Oh, cool.
So that gets me, I do the no-gi days at Logic, and then I train at Mythic on Monday and Wednesday. So yeah, pretty packed schedule there. But it's definitely a difference in terms of like the effects on your body as well, like compared to like the the striking focused training. Because I've been slacking on it. I'm getting some lessons from Coach Manny over at Boxing University in Auburn. That's where I've been training my striking out of. We actually are starting back up this week, which is good. It's just hard to balance everything in my schedule.
Oh man, I know.
But but it's just, I don't know. It's just something about it, and it's just so much of jiu-jitsu is getting out of your comfort zone, because I can't really just avoid my opponent. I can't just go in and be, okay, I know what my strengths are, I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to go out. It's like, no, I have to physically engage with this person. I have to be locked up with them for the duration of whatever we're doing. And if they're better than me, they're just going to beat shit out of me this entire time. You know what I mean? There's just something appealing about that to me.
Yeah. You're definitely, the fight is upon you. you know, and especially when you get somebody big, like fucking big ass Connor.
Yeah, I was about to say
like,
Connor. Yeah,
that's the one who just picks you up and just army carries you off, and it's like,
dude, and that's funny. And I'm not the biggest dude in the world, but like, I'm 5'7". I'm 200 to 205 pounds. And for the most part, like I'm able to kind of like manhandle or use my strength to my advantage on similar size opponents, whether they be slightly bigger or slightly smaller.
Yeah.
Connor interacts with me like a dad playing with their child. And I'm like, oh, I am helpless against this mammoth of a human.
You get up against the big, strong dudes like that, and they're like, damn, you just fucking picks me up. I get it, because like I don't really grapple anymore, but I do, I mean, there's some grappling in Muay Thai, or some clinch, which is, and I really love the grappling part of it, because like just locking up and doing a lot of things, like I don't even care if I'm actively striking, but finding position and stuff. And very big difference between somebody like even my size, because I'm about, let's see, right now I don't want to say it on camera, but I'm about 220 right now. So I'm a little bit chubby for Zach, not quite fat Zach yet, but a little chubby. But somebody my size, it's like it's evenly matched. Somebody bigger than me, and it's rough. Somebody smaller than me is like kick. Like this is easy. But man, having been picked up by Connor, that's funny. No. Especially in that video. Just kidding.
And he just do it whenever he wants too. It's one of those like, oh man, I think I'm doing really good, and then it's like there's constraints of like the game that we're playing, and then it's just like, oh yeah, Connor can just at 8 points, like boop, and I'm like, oh yeah, hey, I lose, like, you know what I mean?
Oh man. Well, so you do most of your no-gi over at Logic, right? Now Logic is a Marcelo Alonso affiliate school, and that's where we're from, you know, as well as, or we're out in Vital Jiu-Jitsu. Shout out to my team, Street Sook Muay Thai, Vital Jiu-Jitsu. Bryan Jones Jr. Muay Thai. I don't want to not include Crew Jones, but there's again an affiliate school, so very familiar with them. I know some of their students cross train at Vital on Wednesdays as well, because that's our big no-gi day. But how do you like it training over there as well?
Yeah, so I really enjoy training at Logic. Logic was the first gym that I ever really kind of stumbled into and then said, hey, this is it, right? So for me, I'd heard of jiu-jitsu, of course, like everybody else. I'd been a big MMA fan for a while, but never trained it. And then it was kind of, I really needed something to kind of fill that hole. I was depressed, I was down, I needed to get back into something. And I'm like, dude, like, what can I do? And my neighbor trains at Logic, and I've known it for a while. And I said, hey man, like, how does it work for like trial class and stuff? And he's like, dude, come with me to a class, whatever. And that was like immediately sold. I signed right up after the first trial class, and then I was there 5 days a week for like the next year straight. I really enjoy it. I trained a lot more gi back then and not no gi, and I've kind of especially the last 9 months or so, really transitioned more to just no gi, which I know, to Steve's dismay, because he wants me to train gi too. One day I will, Steve, I promise, if you see this. But I feel the no gi really translates over to the MMA work.
100%. Well, I mean, just the fact that there isn't cloth to grab, like, lapels, belts, all that kind of stuff. But that's actually funny, because that's like 8 streets down or 12 streets down from where I grew up.
Yeah.
So like, I'm,
okay.
Spanaway, Sway City,
yep,
like that whole thing. So that's very familiar. Some old stomping grounds right there. So, but that is good. I do understand, because like our owner, Kyle Mitchell, for a long time he used to say how much he despised the gi, or despised no gi.
Yeah.
But he's like, I have to do it though.
Yeah.
And so now he teaches a lot of no gi. And so I don't know that I'm sure you won't hear him say how much he dislikes no gi anymore. So I'm sure it's grown on him. But you definitely see he's just like, no, the gi is important.
Yeah.
But even our gym has evolved from primarily gi training, for the first roughly 10 years that I was training there. And they did a good amount of no gi and MMA stuff, because we're a primarily an MMA school up until about 2018, 2019. So just having that transition, and you see how many tournaments are out there, gi and no gi, it is absolutely required for you to. I don't want to say, like, you can even do primarily no-gi at this point and still compete in all these tournaments.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing currently. So I haven't, the last gi competition I had was September of last year when I did the IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu Con in Las Vegas. So, and that was the last time and then the next time I put on a gi was 2 weeks ago when I got my blue belt. So, yeah.
Well, and that's a really big fucking promotion to go,
Yeah.
Do a competition for. But like I said, I'm also going to have a booth for Relentless Mouth Guards at the Revolution coming up July 18th. So shout out to Jeff over at the Rev for hooking it up on a booth. But that's primarily, is that only gi, or is that no?
So I know I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Please don't chew me up in the comments if I get this wrong. But they did one where they just had a gi competition this time, but then they've also done it where they have both. So my first competition I did the Rev, and that was back, I want to say October of 2024. I only have been training for like a couple months, and I did gi and no gi. Of course, I got bodied, but this is what it is.
No, I mean, you still want to go out there and compete.
Oh, 100%.
There's a tournament coming up.
Yeah.
So now here's something that I will say, because again, I'll speak about jiu-jitsu a little bit coming from the school that I do, but I don't train it enough to know what the fuck I'm talking about for a lot of people that are going to listen to this. Now, what I will say is, let me say it like this. Our gym is a Muay Thai gym and a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
And we do have a little bit of MMA, like we have Isaac Padilla, Rob Carlin, two of our primarily MMA guys. And we have a few other people that are interested, and we have another coach coming back into the fold slowly but surely that has a ton of great MMA experience and is a great MMA coach, and Kevin White. So hopefully, he's able to make something work. But what I kind of wanted to ask, getting back to like, if I'm like, oh, do they have gi? Do they have no gi? Again, this is a Sway City Muay Thai podcast.
Yeah.
So if I don't ask the right questions or don't say the right thing, it's just a quick disclaimer. So when you say something like, don't chew me up in the comments for this, it's like, I'm the last person that probably should be speaking. The only reason that I do understand is because this right here is where I trained from. So, but being that we are primarily, like I'm a Muay Thai coach. Yeah. So, I have a lot of specific ways that I teach, and I go from rule set to rule set. And we kind of have to. So you'll see where I'm going with this is there's tournament style. So like WBC, WKA, IFMA, stuff like this. So like very specific tournaments. How do they score? What do they score? What do they look like? What do they want? And then you can go with other promotions that are looking at like more traditional stadium style Muay Thai. It's where they're not really scoring as many punches. They're not scoring as much out for the pace. It's more disruption, damage, dominance, the 3Ds. Now, and there's other stuff to get into, like global rules with the MMA style gloves and high speed action and what do they call it, like action Muay Thai essentially. Now, for jiu-jitsu, you have like IBJJF. Did I say that right? Yep. See? And then you have things like EBI rules, like Eddie Bravo and stuff. And then you have all these other rule sets that I'm not going to get too much deeper into the training for now, or speaking on. But which one are you training for? Do you adjust? Do you let your coaches know that this is the upcoming tournament? How many of them do you have to kind of separate? Yeah, so I mostly like submission-only tournaments. So what that'll mean for anyone who doesn't know is we're not tracking points, right? So you get a sweep or a takedown, you get 2 points. If you get in closed guard or you get back control with hooks in, you get points. When you do submission only, it's just, hey, you have 5-6 minutes, whatever your time round is, and at the end, it hopefully ends with a submission. Maybe it ends in a judge's decision. Maybe one opponent was hyper aggressive, sent a lot of attacks, couldn't finish anything, but one opponent just had to play defense. Well, that aggressive opponent will win by judge's decision. Okay. Or it's something like Ava is a comp that you'll see around here that I've competed at, where they don't have a judge's decision. They have an overtime rule set. And this actually happened at the last comp I did. Okay. If no submissions reached in standard time, you go to overtime, and basically you take turns starting in an advantageous position. So your opponent will start already having you in back control with a seatbelt. And then it's like, okay, you either need to escape back control
or the opponent gets a submission, or time runs out, right? And then you rotate, and then judging on that, it goes, hey, who's faster?
Like
who did it
almost
better?
like a weird sudden death kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So I just prefer the submission-only ones. I haven't done actually a point-based jiu-jitsu comp set, really only 2 of them. I did the first Rev I did in late 2024, and then Jiu-Jitsu Con last year in September. But yeah, I don't know. There's something about I just prefer the idea of, hey, we're both going into this like neither one of us is going to just like get into a guarded position and then like try to stall out down points. It's like, hey, it is action. It's you versus me. Like I'm trying to finish you. You're trying to finish me.
Okay. No, and I think that just having what you said there is probably very appealing to a lot of people when they don't want to go in there and just feel like they got stuck in a position, couldn't get past it, and they lost because of that, or that person was kind of sandbagging or didn't want to go for a finish because the rule set states that you can just kind of stall out here. And you do see that in other sports. Something that I do, how would I say this? When I look at things that are like submission only or jiu-jitsu tournaments, you see some where you can kind of strike.
Yeah.
Isn't that fight to win?
So that's like a combat jiu-jitsu rule. So you can do kind of like an open hand smack.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think Eddie Bravo rules allows that a little bit, or used to.
I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. So I find that very interesting because that will change a good amount of your game, or it can,
100%.
because the fact that like I could get smacked, or just like being bumped or pushed can change your position versus something you're not able to do. So when I was younger, used to really not like it when jiu-jitsu tournaments would call it a fight.
Yeah.
And over time, I've kind of let that go because it really doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what I think, A, and B, it doesn't matter if you call it a fight or not a fight, because to some people it is, to some people it isn't. Some fights, that's exactly where you end up. Some fights you don't. And same thing can be looked at from Muay Thai. Like, well, if I can't fucking take you down, it's not a real fight. You know what I mean? So you get what I'm saying? So that's why I've kind of let go of that. But when it comes to these combat rules and combat jiu-jitsu, stuff like that, I guess what I'm looking for is like, what sort of adaptations are you making between promotions? Yeah,
so I've never done a combat jiu-jitsu tournament or match. I'd like to. I think that's really cool. Okay. I just know in terms of popularity, they're not super popular in this general area. So it's not the same as like, hey, there's maybe one offered a month that you go sign up for. Like it's pretty few and far between. But it is interesting. And what I'd like to reference is like my second MMA fight at the Scrapyard. I fought Baylor BBC, who's a huge wrestler. And I mean, I got absolutely wrestle fucked. Dude demolished me, right? But it was the first time that, and I had limited jiu-jitsu experience, but like that was still kind of my background per se. Okay. It was the first time that it dawned on me like, oh, someone can complicate your jiu-jitsu when they can hit you. Because we took me to the ground, I'm pinned, and I go and I'm like, oh, I create some space, I go to bring my legs in, and then I get punched in the face. And I went, oh shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, this was a good revelation for me to have, because what I was trying to do is great in jiu-jitsu, but it didn't translate the best to an active MMA fight when someone's trying to punch you. And I learned that. Yeah.
No, that makes total sense, because again, so like I'll just go over a quick tangent. My buddy Bo Reedus, when I was first getting started, he's like a blue belt and he's doing MMA. And so he would just take me down with ease. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah. But I know how to punch, I know how to strike, and then I've seen plenty of people ground and pound. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna punch this motherfucker while he takes me down. Yeah. And we were talking about this last night. I would just sit there and just kind of knock on his face, and it would elicit a reaction.
100%.
And he, after everything would be done, be like, fuck, that shit's annoying. I hate when you do that. Because I'm like, I'm not going to stop. Like, you're going to have to stop me. So, and the reason Relentless Mouth Guards is named Relentless is because MABJJ and Fife had this big thing where it says Relentless over the top and said never quit, or in the bottom for most of our t-shirts and stuff like that. So I really took that to heart in the very beginning. And shout out to like one of our guys, Nick Ryan. I remember, so Aaron Martin. Yeah. Over at Logic.
Papa Martin.
Papa Martin. So I was talking about Nick one day, and I remember this at the gym. I'm like, fuck, that guy's good. He was like, he's tough. And he's still doing MMA and still doing stand-up at the time. And he's just like, that guy is relentless, like the meaning of MABJJ.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ooh.
That stuck
and
with
it's
you.
just always fucking stuck with
Yeah.
me. So like when I was coming up with the name for the mouthguard company, I was like, kind of pays homage to, you know, where I came into the sport. And but again, like full circle, like you talk about all these people, well, just getting back to what I was talking about is just like what you're saying is a lot of these guys, when you get taken down and the striking complicates the jujitsu.
Yeah.
And I see all these old school guys that are like in this kind of realm where they know exactly what they're doing for MMA. Especially like you got Papa Martin over there, like pretty good MMA coach, I would say.
Yeah.
If you don't know Aaron Martin, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look into it a little bit. Ask him about it. Ask him about the old fighting days. One of my favorite things from him, again, quick tangent, is Marcelo. Marcelo used to come down to our gym Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we were, I don't know if it's second school, and he used to yell, everybody knows the "who's your daddy, who's your bitch" thing from Marcelo. So he'd be like, "Who's your daddy?" and fucking smack you on the back so hard to the point I'm like, ooh. Or he carry around the fucking wooden samurai sword. I can't remember the name of it. I'm terrible with that kind of shit. But and smack you with that. And so it was funny because I remember Aaron's rolling with Crew Bryan Jones Jr.'s nephew, Andrew. And Marcelo was like, head and arm, which is, I know is like a simpler one, but he was just doing it over and over and over to Andrew. And at the time, I'm like, oh shit, that dude's fucking good. But it's so funny. He's just, who's your daddy? Bah, bah. Who's your bitch? I'm like, oh shit. Like, Marcelo is fucking so cool, man. Shout out to Professor Marcelo Alonso. So, but yeah, man. So just getting back to it, like just the disruption of the strikes on the ground and having to give up certain little positions. Like we had one of our guys, Dexter. He just did a smoker up at 10 kicks, and he wanted to do MMA. So I was giving him a hard time, and I was like, "Oh, you want to do MMA?" Because he gets in this weird position. I'm like, "Oh, you want to do MMA?" I'm twice his size.
Yeah.
So it's very unfair. So, but he gets me to the ground, and I get him like one hand around the neck, and I'm just like pop, 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 pop. And he's like puts the arm up, then he puts the arm down. I'm like, all right, this arm goes over top, and I don't remember, and I just kind of do that. He's like, well, I had your leg, and I was like, okay, I don't know leg stuff. Thank you for not destroying my knee. So I got to teach tomorrow. But it elicited that reaction that I was looking for, and just kind of getting back to what you were saying. When you're doing things like, even if, you know, I don't care where it's at, if it's in practice, if it's at the scrapyard, if it's in a high-level jiu-jitsu tournament, where does your mind go when you're getting struck on the ground like that?
Yeah. So for me, it creates a lot more pressure. And so I've trained like that plenty of times. I mean, we don't train like that at a jiu-jitsu gym because we're not striking each other. But I'm very cognizantly aware of like wrist control is a good example, right? Like, okay, if I'm taken to the ground and I'm on my back or whatnot, if I can't keep my opponent's posture completely broken on top of me, I'm trying to gain at bare minimum one wrist control. Because in my head, I'm like, he can't hit me with that, right? If I could get both and I can advance to something else, that's great. But my brain will automatically now start to go like, oh, prepare for a strike. I'm like, oh, I'm not getting hit. That's great. But my brain still thinks about it because of the experience that I had of like, oh, even in just some training, like I posted a reel about it a couple weeks ago, but Filthy Swole, another fighter at Scrapyard, him and I got together for some sparring. And my goal when I told him was like, hey, we're gonna get into some jiu-jitsu positions, and I'm just gonna give you some pressure. And he's an experienced wrestler. He's a great dude, really good on the ground. But like even he said afterwards, like, damn, like once you start throwing in some strikes, and we're just patting each other too, right? But it just creates such a higher level of stress. Because in jiu-jitsu, like there's several times where you'll get to a position and you're like, oh, I can catch a breather. Like turtle is one of the ones too, right? Okay. You're turtle down, right? Like you don't want to make it a habit of going in a turtle to begin with, but like sometimes you need to, right? Well, in MMA, if your opponent turtles on you, like unload on that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So like, but a lot of times guys will get into turtle and then they hang out there and they're catching their breath, and it's like, you almost need to get punished to make you realize like, oh, I don't want to be in turtle anymore. Because I used to turtle for defense all the time. Now, as soon as I turtle, I almost instinctively try to get out of it because I've had my ass whooped when I went into turtle. You know what I mean? So it's like a necessary exposure. Like, you got to go through it, man.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, I actually really like that because even though you're not necessarily playing it safe, like, oh, I know he can't do that, so I'm gonna play it safe. So I like that. I like I like the calculated risks.
Yeah.
So take the risk. Anybody, like you said earlier, you can't really run from your opponent in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like anybody that runs away from your opponent a lot, it's just, it's the fight or flight, but at the same time, you're taking less risks.
Yeah.
And you're not putting that test to things. So I always talk about like torture test or something. Like you go in there, and sparring is a test. That's the clearest and probably the earliest test for how we put people through. The secondary is when you can go through like a Shark Tank.
Yeah.
First is sparring and then doing a controlled smoker over at West Coast because they like to do the work or the bang. For our very first experienced students, we do a work. Yeah. If you're doing a second smoker, you can work or you can bang that one. But in between the first and second smoker, we'll make sure you do Shark Tanks. Yeah. And that's the next level of this. So there's always a progression in the gym. Now, this is kind of the counterpoint to what I was trying to get to earlier. I can commit fully to a full Muay Thai roundhouse kick. Yeah. In Muay Thai kickboxing. In MMA, I cannot because I will get taken down. And with a couple of our MMA guys, it's very clear, like how quickly or easily I go for like a jump knee or something like that, where I get really light and then it's like boom, sweep. Yeah. It's like, fuck. They're like, why did you do that? Why did you give me that? And I'm like, well, fucking everybody else I can pull that off on. But again, I feel exposed in that level. So just kind of having that other side of things, like you can really tell where sports specific versus like all around specifics, like stand up and ground, when they're combined. You don't have to necessarily be able to do it well even, but just having an understanding, because I'm like, I was talking about putting Dexter in the rear naked choke, but like I didn't know he's fucking gonna destroy my leg. At the same time, it's like what you don't know can hurt you. For sure. But there's always layers to it. Something I wanted to kind of bring up for you specifically, is there an appeal for, so we've talked about taking some of the last fights. I know you've had a couple tough ones at the Scrapyard recently. Is there a reason going into the jiu-jitsu side of things a little heavily, more because of, like you said, you suffered a concussion?
Yeah, I've had a bunch.
Okay. Obviously, that's a much safer zone. You're not getting, 100%. You're not getting hit in the head training. What can you say about building up your confidence for combat sports while not having to take strikes to the head?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I really like jiu-jitsu. I really do, and it's something that I look at that I go, I can do this long term. And then I look at the striking side, for like boxing, and then the MMA side, and I, at least for myself, because I can only speak for myself, I cannot see myself doing that long term. I could see myself training it long term, but in terms of like actual length of how long like my fight career would be, very short. Just because of all the injuries I already have. I'm not getting any younger. I mean, I'm not old either, right? But it's like I'm about to be 34, and it's just, I'm confident in my ability to at least have an understanding of what needs to be done. And and a lot of times there's so much of like a puncher's chance too. And I mean, I've been on the receiving end of it, and I've also been on the giving end of it. My first MMA fight, where I had almost no experience, I won in like 35 seconds. And I was just like, oh, holy shit, right? That wasn't because I was some seasoned trained expert. Like, I had a plan, it was going okay, but then I got lucky. And that's just what happened, right? Like, I didn't leave that situation being like, I'm best. I was like, man, I got lucky today. You know what I mean? And I had, not my last fight of the Scrapyard, my previous fight was a boxing match. And if Superhawk hears this, I'm a big fan of Superhawk, but Superhawk knocked me the fuck out. Everyone would tell you that I was winning that fight. It was the first time I'd ever been like, wow, I truly have an upper hand on my opponent, and I got greedy, and I got punished. And I learned so much from that. I was bringing it. but I was bringing it so much that I was like, oh, I stopped bringing my hands back up. I had my guard down, and he popped up from the shell and got me solid right in the temple, and I was out. And I woke up on the ground and went, fuck. You know what I mean? And everybody was like, what was that? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
I tell my students about that all the time.
Yeah.
Don't get greedy. Stay tight.
Yeah.
It'll open up. It'll show itself.
But I needed that, right? Because I don't train in an MMA gym where I'm striking all the time. There's a lot of times there the first time I'm experiencing something is in the ring. Good example is my last fight. So I fought October's for the 205 MMA title back, I want to say April. So I lost that fight. Was a really good experience though, because I've never fought an opponent quite like him. I've never actually taken a head kick until that fight. And I fought a couple times, in MMA matches before. I've had them thrown at me, they never connected. October's is like 6'3", 205, long-legged.
Yeah.
This dude got me, first, if it was an up kick, was the first time I ever actually felt an up kick. That fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And then the second one was like, we were basically squared up, and he got me just with the heel of his foot right in my face. It was miserable. You know what I mean? But like, I needed to experience that because in the future, if that happens, I'm like, oh, watch out for that fucking foot. Or like, oh, when my opponent goes down and he looks like he's about to send an up kick, don't stand there and go, is he about to up kick me? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's all necessary for me just becoming better and well-rounded. And that's why, I talk to people all the time, like, I've lost more than I've won. And I'm not embarrassed to say that in the slightest. Every experience I've had in the ring so far has helped me tremendously just advance and become better, well-rounded, and have a better idea of what I need to work on. And it helps teach me that there's so much that I don't know, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So.
Well, and it's just, the biggest thing that I always tell my students is, doesn't matter, like, even though all these things that you went through, it's all experience until you quit, or unless you quit.
Yeah.
So just don't quit, and it's all just chalking it up to experience. You're learning, and you're gonna get better. As long as you don't take too much damage.
Yeah.
And I know that's a very big thing, especially taking it like a couple heavier shots.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about. Going into jiu-jitsu from there, you're gonna obviously you're gonna alleviate a lot of the getting hit in the head or like continuing any damage that could happen. And a lot of people do jump back into training too soon and get hit
for sure
too soon. So I'm glad that you stepped away from that for a little bit. I know you do have another boxing sparring coming up, and you're going back to the gym for that. Just protect that head, man. Just keep those hands up.
And that's, for me, I got a lot of big plans, and the reality is they're big plans that I have to like put into motion here pretty soon. So it's kind of one of those, like, I'm at that point now where it's like, okay, I need to get more experience, but I also, need to go pro to do the things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get in the BKFC. One day, hopefully you'll see me there. But now it's no longer what it used to be of essentially like, hey, you can be, a skilled or someone amateur fighter, show up to a tryout and they say, hey, we like you, we're going to take you. Like now they want experienced pros. So what that means for someone like myself is I'll likely get a couple amateur fight, more experience, right? Add that to my scrapyard experience. Go pro, get one or two pro boxing or MMA matches at probably like a much smaller or like scale promotion, and then show up at BKFC's door for a tryout and be like, hey, I already have a pro record. It doesn't really matter if I've won or lost, I don't really care. But it's just like, hey, I have the experience, I'm here and giving my all in a tryout, and then hopefully you catch me at BKFC.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But
cool. One thing I would suggest, and I can help if you like, but JD Burns in the area.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so he does a lot of bare knuckle stuff. And I think he's fought for BKFC once before, but he would definitely be somebody that to pick his brain.
Yeah.
Because and he's potentially, we were looking at having him at our gym for, and we still are. I just don't know the situation because I'm not the one matching it up. But that's Crew Jones for doing all that. But he's doing bare knuckle seminars.
Yeah.
So talking about like how to place the punches, how to wrap your hands, how to tape hands for coaches and stuff like this. So it's very important. Another avenue to grow combat sports.
Yeah.
So, and just dialing it back, like we have everything out here in the Pacific Northwest that you're gonna need. everything from, like we talked about, the Scrapyard.
Yeah.
We got smokers at West Coast. We got other people doing smokers, like shout out to Stanley and Loren and everybody that runs out at 10 Kicks, and shout out to my boy Johnson. You got all that kind of stuff. You got amateur shows, you got in-house amateur shows, and then you got bigger amateur shows, and then you've got pro-am shows, and you got casino shows and all this stuff. So you got pro kickboxing, a little bit of, and mixed in with pro MMA up at War Kickboxing.
Yep.
But and obviously there's pro boxing and things like that. And I know JD was able to do bare knuckle kickboxing for the first time at the Muckleshoot.
Yeah,
I
I heard
January
about that.
31st.
Yeah.
So you know, the sport's grown. People just want to fight.
Yeah.
It's the most primal, and I think it's the most natural thing for most people to do. It's the hardest for people to understand.
100%. That's a great point, because, you know, a lot of people have asked me, especially because, like, dude, you know, I have a master's degree. I have a great career. I have a wife and kids. And everybody's like, why the fuck do you want to fight? Like, they're like, it seems like you have life figured out. And I'm like, dude, the first time I ever got in that ring, and I was just like, this is it. Like, I like this. I don't give a shit if I win, lose, or whatever.
You're like, none of that other shit matters here.
When they locked that cage door at the Scrapyard for the first time, and I'm like, oh, this is real. And then our fight started, and as soon as we touched gloves, and I caught one in the face, I was like, oh, holy shit! Like, let's go. And I was like, sold.
Yep.
Sold. I don't care like how good or bad I am, whatever. Like, this is fun to me, and I'm someone that if I don't have fun doing something, I won't do it.
Right.
But like, there is just something about that primal feeling of just like, I am in a cage or a ring with me and another dude, and like, it's just us, bro. Like, this is not a team sport right now.
No.
You know what I mean? I can't tag somebody in. Like, it's me versus you.
It's all me.
All my weaknesses get exposed. Like, the things I've been working on, I get to test out. And like, it's just, dude, I don't know, man. It's something about it. It's mystifying to me, you know?
And that's why I think it's the hardest thing to understand, because of how few people go through that, you know?
Yeah.
But so it's funny because I always make the comparisons. A lot of people understand this right now because it's the 25th anniversary of Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
But Vin Diesel has this line. He's just like, for those 10 seconds or less, which is bullshit because you ain't running. Not a lot of cars are running 10 seconds. So the way they sold the movie is terrible. Terribly good. Or good because it's terrible.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But I make the comparison because he says, like, for those 10 seconds, nothing else matters. And it's the same fucking thing in the ring, in the cage, whatever it is, because what I always say is bell to bell.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter whatever. Like, I fought a preacher at one point.
Yeah.
And I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I was a butcher at the time. And it's like, it's not preacher versus butcher. It's fighter versus fighter.
100%.
And the worst thing that you could do is quit.
100%.
And you see, like it's very famous when Roberto Duran quit, and I think it was his second fight against Sugar Ray Leonard, and there's a whole documentary called No Mas about it, about how he quit. And then it's funny because Mike Tyson's in the documentary talking shit about it, and then he quit mid-round against, I can't remember who he was fighting, but it's just interesting because, like, and I would never take anything away from anybody that's ever fought. And if you quit mid-fight with a record the way that those guys had, there's something else probably going on with that. But to go in there and be like, how many people would just be like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get hit like 100%. That, and they quit. To go in there and not quit and face that, face your fears and go through all that. I think that it's like the most immediately rewarding thing that we can kind of do.
100%.
It's the only other thing that I hear people talking about is when they've been on a long hunt and it's miserable and they get their kill.
Yeah.
And then they actually eat back at the camp. It's like the only other thing that I've heard people talk about how primally rewarding in a primal sense that it is.
For sure. And you know, that honestly, like we're talking, you know, like the primal appeal, that is like my big appeal to the BKFC specifically. Because to me, I love and respect all combat sports and all disciplines and whatnot, but there's just something so primal about two dudes in a tiny ring with no gloves on, and they just beat the fucking shit out of each other.
Is that the one they do in the fucking triangle?
So that's the BKB does the triangle.
BKB,
BKFC still does like a standard boxing ring, but it's a lot smaller. So there's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to run in the trigon either, right? But it's just the idea of like, hey, it's you versus me. There's no gloves here. Like, we're going to get bloody. We're going to get cut. Some of those fights end in like 2 seconds because it's like, bam, one shot, out. There's just something about that that's like, oh, like I want that. I want to be part of that. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit if I win. I just want to do that.
I
Okay?
think that's now dialing things back a little bit. I think it's the same appeal for the scrapyard
Yeah.
because it's the closest thing you can do between like that motherfucker cut me off. Like, what's up, bro? Get up out. Like, all right. I think it's the closest thing to
Yeah.
like a real life situation of like two dudes that maybe they don't train. They're not
Yeah.
training for weeks and weeks on end to fucking or like years and years on end to go out there and face each other. It's legitimately two dudes that could fucking
Yeah.
get in a fight in traffic or something
100%.
like that. And being that we're here in Washington, we have the common law phase.
Yes.
So, hey, if you guys agree to it, as long as nobody yells,
Yeah.
you know, I quit, stop, fucking taps out, anything like
Yeah.
that, or has like death. I think it was deathly intent. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
There's
Deadly
like
intent or whatever.
there's like
Yeah.
a bunch of little things like that. We were talking about it recently, looking up a lot of these little laws, but yeah, it's a very interesting
Yeah.
situation. But I think that's the primal side of it goes in a lot of ways. The same thing for MMA. Like
Yeah.
I said, like, oh, I can do stand up all day, but as soon as you try to take, like, I throw a heavy head
Yeah.
kick, like with the proper form for a Muay Thai kick,
Yeah.
you get taken down, and somebody be like, yeah, right, you can just get taken down right there.
Yeah.
You know, so anybody that played high school football can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's doing a ballerina pose, I'm gonna tackle him.
Yeah.
So, sorry to say Muay
No,
Thai is
I-
a brutal ballet. I was gonna say, let me dial it back for the Muay Thai. I was like, ballerina pose.
With MMA too, like honestly, like I mean, I'll gonna throw myself on the bus here. Like I'm a hypocrite when it comes to MMA because I am definitely a grappler base, right? My grappling experience vastly exceeds my striking experience, and if I'm going to an MMA fight, I'm likely gonna rely on a lot of my grappling experience. I fucking hate to watch MMA fights. It's mostly grapplers, and when I say that, people are like, "Bro, that would be you." I'm like, I know full well that that's hypocritical to say, but I was just like, I want to watch two dudes standing. Like I want Max Holloway.
You wanna
point
be
in the middle and
entertained.
yes, and that to me entertaining. It's funny with that because I enjoy the fact that people tell me my fights are entertaining. I am well aware that I am not the best fighter. But you will never catch me even walking around saying like I'm good. Those words have never left my mouth.
Right.
But I'm entertaining, and so that comes. And my belief on that is my mannerisms, my technical display, my violence and ferocity. Like I don't have the best defense, but like I'm coming out, I'm fucking swinging. Like I came to fight. I didn't come to dance with
Yeah.
you. Like we can be boys after and we can hang out and chill, but like when that bell fucking rings, like I'm coming to take your fucking head off. Like, and I just love that. And I want you to feel that way about me. I don't want you to come in there and be like, oh, I want to do this Prince. Like rip my fucking head off, bro. Like that's what we're here to do. I want people to scream and cheer. Like that feels so cool.
Yeah.
And especially at the scrapyard, like so many people have come up to me afterwards and they're like, dude, I love watching your fights. And it could be like, I just got knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like in my last fight, I got knocked the fuck
like,
out.
dude, what are you talking
And so
about?
many people were like, dude, that was sick. Like, loved it. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. And they're like, dude, and other people are like, but you lost. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Everybody thought that was the coolest shit ever. I thought that was the coolest shit ever. I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean?
I think it also applies to the fact that anybody can lose. Like you can have a lot of fun, still lose. It's still entertaining. You know.
And with losses, my view on losses is like I have learned so much more from a loss than I ever have a victory. Because all a victory shows me is like, oh hey, some of the things you've been trying to do are working, or you got lucky, right? But every time I've lost, I've been like, oh, there was something critically wrong with what I was doing, and I'm able to go back and look at footage or look at whatever and go, oh, that's what it was. Like, I let my guard down because I got greedy. Or, hey, he dropped his shoulders, indicating to me he was likely going to throw a kick. And my dumb ass stood there and was like, what? And then I ate the kick. You know what I mean? I won't make that mistake again because now I know I've experienced it, right? I would rather lose the next 10 fights but gain that exposure and experience than win my next 10 that are against like a can, quote unquote. I don't want to disrespect anybody,
Right.
but against somebody else that's like, oh, I'm able to do like a simple 1-2 combo that's just overpowers him and he's just toast. Like I would rather lose because I gained the experience. You know what I mean? So that's my view on that.
No, that's for those who don't know. Like it's not win or lose. It's win or learn.
Yeah, I like that.
And we always talk about that. I always see that, and that was a pattern I recognized when I was still fighting. Is when you win, you don't have a ton to take away from for like how you're gonna do better, because like obviously you're beating your opponent. There's gonna be things that you can take away.
Yeah.
I don't mean that there aren't, but when you're beating your opponent, typically they're not displaying certain things that are good to take away from. So they're not exposing you as much.
Yeah.
So being that when you lose, and hopefully you don't lose handily, because then it almost looks like there's too much being exposed or it's too easy on them. But yeah, there's always a bigger lesson in the tougher fights and the tougher losses.
Yeah. And for me, like I've lost in all different ways now. And it was good just because of that exposure, right? Like I've been completely wrestle fucked. I lost that fight by decision. I've been knocked out, because of my own carelessness and my lack of defense. I fought a fighter who was vastly more experienced than me that was throwing things that I'd never seen before, and I caught it and I lost. And just that, knowing that is great because that shows me like, oh, cool, dude. Like there's measurable things I can go to implement to get better to address those things, right? And then it's like, okay, cool. I come up with that. I go to my next fight, something else comes out and I go, shit, okay, now I get to adjust this. And it's just a never ending game of how can I make myself better? Because at the end of the day, like that's what I care about the most, right?
No, that's exactly it. It's a never ending process of getting better. I tell that to my students all the time because I always say like, all right, I can find in a technique, I go through my classes and I can find anybody doing any technique and I can probably find something to coach you on or improve on.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're not doing it well. And a lot of times if they're doing it fairly well, they just need more time throwing that combo or whatever it is to polish it slightly. But I always tell them, there's never going to be a time where I'm not going to correct you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
I can find something. So expect me to find something. It's not... And any of my students listening or anybody that listening that applies to, it's not because I'm trying to be critical or like you need to think that you're not good enough. It's the fact that there's always something to be worked on.
100%.
There's always something to polish. And that's why even the best pros still work their jab.
Yeah.
It's never going to be complete. It's never a complete painting.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, you're just talking about training in general, right? Like, so I get a lot of hate online, which comes with just, posting all the time.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I'd say
I
for at least the way, because it truly is the way that I am, but it's at least, the way I hope I'm interpreted is like, dude, I'm not somebody who's arrogant. Like, I don't walk around and posting and be like, look at me, blah, blah. Like, everything to me is like, it's comical to me in a sense because I'm just surprised I'm alive, first off. But then it's like, I'm out here doing all this. Like, dude, I'm, middle-aged dad of 2 kids. Like, I work at office job. Like, I am not the textbook person you'd expect to be doing this, but like, here's my dumb ass out here having fun, right? So I'm going to post about it, right? But so many people will dog on me because they're like, oh, dude, you need to like train harder. And I'm like, that's a valid comment. From my perspective, life is all about energy balance. We have a budget of how much energy we have. I have to sleep. I have to go to work. I have to pay my bills. Even if I go pro, right? I certainly ain't going to be getting on anything that's going to pay all my bills. I'm well aware. I'm not delusional, okay? Yeah. But it's just like, to me, fighting and training is not my number one priority. I have bills to pay and I have a family. Like I have my wife and 2 kids. They will always come first. And if that means something comes up, like tomorrow, my wife and my kids leave for Idaho tomorrow morning. I usually always train Thursday morning. I'm not training tomorrow morning. I'm going to help my wife and kids get out the door and do their thing.
Yeah.
Is that the best idea? It's the best idea for my marriage. It's not the best idea for my competition that's this weekend that I should get more training in. But it's like, I'm not going to pick that over my family. I'm sorry. And that does bother some people because some people see it and they go, dude, you're out here trying really hard doing this, but like you're almost shooting yourself in the foot. And I'm like, I will die on the hill that my family and like the rest of my life takes a higher priority than fighting and training. Like, and I know that upsets some people. So,
well, that's a tough one because here in America, everybody's like, you got to eat, you got to earn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know anybody that doesn't work, even if it's, not a 9 to 5 or anything. But, and when you have a family, that's how you keep your family is by supporting each other. And, like anybody that criticizes that kind of stuff, they probably don't have those priorities in line or understand those things. And I don't mean that in any negative kind of way. You have to, like I always say, like, how are you going to show up to pay your gym dues if you don't make enough money to pay your gym dues?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the way we say it. We don't say pay your bills. We pay your dues.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing this for a really long time. I'm a coach now for a long time. And You're paying for your coach's experience. You're paying to get better. You're paying for a lot of things. But most importantly is you're paying the dues to keep the gym open, to be able to have a facility to go and do these things. And that's, everyone needs to contribute. And if you don't, say it's somebody that truly can't afford it, we'll find a way to have you help. You just got to come to the owner, come to us, and not me, but you have to take care of the bills. You have to take care of your home life and stuff like that. If you don't prioritize those things, they're gonna come back to bite you.
100%. And I've done that. I've been, I'll throw myself on my bus, right? I haven't been the most perfect husband. Like, I haven't been the most perfect dad. Like I said, I've gone through phases, right, where like I shifted my priorities around a bit. There was a time when I did prioritize training more, and I was sacrificing time with my kids and my family. And then it kind of dawned on me, I was like, dude, at the end of the day, like, my legacy is my family. Like, they're not gonna erect monuments of the horn one day. Like, no, dude, like, this is me and I like it and this is great, but like, I want to be there for my kids, right? You know what I mean?
That is your legacy.
Exactly. So that's the way I frame things in my head, is I look at everything I'm doing outside of the home and outside of work, like, that's fun and I absolutely love it and I need to have it, but like, that can't exist unless my home life is good. You know what I mean?
I kind of think of things as, or like when you're going through your like daily, your weekly, your monthly, all these kind of things that you're doing, and you have to cover all these points like we're talking about. I always remember, and like, so there's a couple points I'm going to make here, but progress reports, like in school. Like, all right, maybe math wasn't that good this week, but like reading fucking whatever it is was fucking A+, and so you're like, oh, okay, next week I need to put more in fucking math or whatever it is. It's a constant progress report. This is what I have to do this week. This is where I did well. Like, this is the progress. This is where I did well. This is where I didn't. This is where I need to improve. We stop getting those once we're out of school. I mean, maybe some jobs out there do it, but how many people do that for their lives, for their personal lives?
And it only comes out when they've started doing really bad. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, holy shit, bro.
I need to do better. And then most of the times, but people that don't examine that are quick to examine others, project onto others, They can recognize what needs to be done, but maybe they can't recognize it in themselves. But that's just kind of for the people that want to put that shame out there. But the other part of this that I want to say, and this is something I talk about all the time, is getting a mentor for your own fucking life. Because we talk about going back to school, or like when you're in school, you have somebody telling you what to do. You have somebody like, all right, this is how you get to this step. This is your path to get to here. What is your goal? Oh, you don't have a goal. Well, let's talk about what that could be. As soon as you get out of school, most people lose that aspect of life. And then they're like, oh, well, I go to work. Well, now my work's task is this. So now you complete your task. You think that you're done, and then you just go outside. And I hear the most criticism for the people that don't work hard in extracurricular and do enough to get by at work. Anybody that trains combat sports, martial arts, or trains anything physical, really, you're admitting to yourself that there's more that can be done, and that you're not a finished product.
100%.
But get yourself a mentor, even if it's somebody online, even if it's like an online course. That shit's everywhere right now. Go get yourself into a combat sports gym. Get yourself into have fun. But like, I was gonna shit on like bowling, like a bowling league. Like, that was a little counterintuitive because most of the time you end up drinking a lot.
But pick some type of healthy habit that gets you out there.
You can have something like a path. If you don't have that, dabble around. Find something, because there's so much value out there, and I think that people have a lot to offer. There's great people everywhere, but they don't put themselves out there. They don't realize that there are things out there that they would truly enjoy. And I'm saying this from doing Muay Thai and being a coach, and I see this all the time. I see people come in and they're like, I want to try this, and then they're like, this is the best thing I ever did. And that's my story. But it doesn't have to be Muay Thai. It can be anything. Just healthy habits, like you said. Go start running. So go to a gym.
And I like watching people who are passionate about something. So it's funny because I was talking with somebody the other day about like the accounts like I follow, and I follow a really like sporadic group of people in general, right? But for the most part, like if you're an athlete and you follow me, I likely follow you back. And if I don't, I'm sorry, just because maybe I didn't notice. But
do the
you
same
know what I
thing.
mean? It's just, but it's like, I don't care if you're not very good at, you know, jujitsu or you're not very good at boxing. But like when I open Instagram and I get to scroll and I see like you hitting a bag or whatever, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude. Like, all right, then that just triggers something in me to be like, ah, dude, I really need to hit the fucking bag some more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I go and I see somebody who's really fucking good, and I go, holy shit, like, damn, like I want to be like this guy. You know what I mean? Like, it motivates me to see other people succeed. So like that's what I try to surround myself with. Like, I don't care if you're good. Like, I just want to see it. Like, I need to be around that. You know?
I like that. Like constantly looking at success as like a blueprint.
Yeah.
And being proud that other people have a blueprint, because if you're on your path and you're like, I'm gonna figure this shit out, there's no real need for hate. Like there's no real time, in my opinion. I don't have time to hate on people or like to find over the top criticisms. Like I have enough students that I have to fucking criticize all the time and stuff. And like it tears you down when you have to make a lot of criticism. Like that's something I can't stand. Even about myself when I have to coach too much, is if I have to constantly like, no, and it starts to come from a negative point, I'm not a negative person. I'm not gonna stay there. And I'm gonna make sure that I come back around. I'm like, I'm not trying to be negative. I want you to be better. And like last night, there's a couple of my favorite students, and yes, I do have favorite students. My favorite students are always the ones that try the hardest. But some of some of the more consistent students that try really hard, they were joking around while I was instructing the entire class. And I was like, hey. And they're like, oh,
sorry.
Shit. And I hate having to be that fucking guy, but it happens sometimes. The way my dad was in the military, I'm like, fuck. Being my dad right now. But I will always try to find a way to bring back that positive energy back to the room, because it's so important to me, and it's important to everybody else's growth. And once an environment's just negative, it becomes a bad experience.
100%. And like that's also like, you know, I'm very specific about my online presence. So I have like what I would call is like the genuinely me, and then like the little bit of a troll part of me, which is also partly me. I love to troll, but it's never...
It's part of the Instagram shit though. Like, if you're not a troll, then you might maybe not trying hard on Instagram.
100%. I will never ever comment negatively about somebody's ability to do anything. My trolling is completely out of pocket. Like my buddy posted a thing the other day, was like, "Oh, my body's a temple that turns hot dogs like into diarrhea," and I was like, "My body's a temple that turns toes into suck toes." And like, what? Or somebody else would post something, and I'd be like, "Oh, dude, like, you know what? How about them toes though?" And someone would be like, "What the fuck?" Like that's the type of stuff I like to do. But like in terms of like the genuine me part is like, I firmly believe that when one of us levels up, we all level up. You will never catch me leaving a negative comment on anyone's ability. If somebody is actively wanting feedback or criticism or whatnot, then of course I kind of do that approach of I'll give them a compliment and improve and then end on a compliment. You know what I mean? But like my opinion is it costs $0.00 to just drop a like on somebody's post. Maybe if I'm in a hurry, I don't have time to comment, but or if I do, maybe at least I can drop a couple emojis. You know what I mean? Like that does not cost me anything, and it takes barely any energy. But we can all agree that it feels good to open up your Instagram and see like, oh man, I got a whole bunch of likes, I got a whole bunch of comments. I try my best to like, there's sometimes when I'm just in a hurry and I'm scrolling through my Instagram, I'm like trying to be like, man, I want, and I know it has an effect because a couple people have reached out to me and they're like, dude, like, you know, I've watched all your fights. I think your stuff's super cool. And like, it means a lot to me that like you even took the time to like watch my video and give me a comment. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like, so I know that has a positive effect. And I'm like, that's who I want to be. Like, I want to be known as like, hey, I'm that guy that's team you. Like, I don't care if you're good or not, right? I see you out here getting it. Fuck yeah, dude. Because you're doing more than someone who's just sitting on a couch at home doing nothing. And I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
I'm a cheerleader for effort. You know, all you got to do is try, and I'm cheering for you. You know? And you are very positive. Like you always comment, you always like stuff, you always reshare stuff, man. And that's just something that people come to. I don't come to expect it, but I very much appreciate it. There isn't like a time where I'm like, oh, you know, I don't care. It's always appreciated, and it doesn't. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Like sometimes people will see it but not like it because them liking it shows other people they're supporting you.
That's fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it could be anything though. Like it could be, you know, somebody that's real close to you,
Yeah.
and that's very common, you know. And I think that it's you're playing to the hero aspect when you start to put yourself out there as like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Like it puts you into that, maybe not like a true hero sense, but and when they don't, it could kind of call into fact that they're not.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not really doing it. It kind of like it internally shames them without it. And a lot of people will never admit that. But the other side is just like, wow, you know, like maybe I didn't support this person. I said this thing bad about that person to another person.
Yeah.
And now if I go and I like that or do anything like that, now I'm contradicting myself by showing support here online for everyone to see when, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of weirdness when it comes to that. And so being that it started the Muay Thai thing, the podcast thing, the mouth guards and all that, I have to take that other side into account. You know, it's like maybe there's somebody out there that they do support, but maybe just not in social media. And I got a ton of people that have bought mouth guards and they support a ton, but they're not out there liking every post.
Yeah,
and they don't
no,
have
for sure.
to.
Yeah,
you know?
no, absolutely. And I mean, you know, it's one of those things too, like social media is just complicated. Like, and I 100% get it. Like, everybody's got like their thing that they're trying to do and whatnot. And like, that's why, and again, not to like, you know, tip my own hat to myself, but like that I'm trying to be that like, quote unquote, like, I hate using this phrase, but like breath of fresh air, right? Like I'm trying to show people that like, I'm a regular ass dude. I'm out here getting after it. Do I do great things? Not usually, but occasionally. But like, I show everything. I show my losses. I show my wins. I show cool clips. I show funny clips. Like, I just want to let it be know that like, hey, it's okay to not be the greatest athlete on the planet, but like, just put it out there.
It's the lighter. It's kind of like the lighter side of training and honesty. Of
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So like I think you definitely do that because you, again, just getting back to some of the posts, the funnier things. It's like we were talking in my head. I was thinking about this one thing. One of our juniors, I talk about her fairly often because she's really good. She's very present in our gym. Her name's Koliani. One of the first couple months, like I'm just playing around. I throw like a really light head kick or a low kick. She's a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
This little girl is fucking good though. She's a little monster. She's like, okay, fucking head kicks me. And then I do a slow-mo clip because she used to fake me out. She would go to the body. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna catch like this, and I'm not gonna block too high, so I have a higher elbow to pull the kick through.
Yeah.
It's like, so as anticipating, she got me with the kick, and I was like, all right,
hell yeah.
But I was like, instead of being a dick, because I fucking went after her after that.
Yeah.
Just,
You as a coach, you kind of have to.
But then we're recording, and I'm like, I'm not going to post the part where I was going after her.
Yeah.
I'm going to post the part where she head kicks me, and then I slow-mo it, and it's like, Hadouken! The head kick ends, and I'm like, all right. So that's me kind of like inviting the trolls or showing the lighter side. It's like, I'm a coach. Like, somebody else that's not in my gym and is just online going to say some shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, okay,
whatever,
I got
guy. You know,
1 to 2 dozen people here that are desperate to get better, and looking to me for answers. I'm not gonna be like, hold on, let me go address this troll over here for a little because that's what's important. Fuck no. So any of you trolls listening, that's about how much we really care. It's like we have real priorities up front and personal versus somebody that's like talking shit in the background.
Dude, 100%.
Never gonna silence the hecklers.
No,
you know?
And it's funny because I was thinking a lot of people were asking me about like, you know, because I don't do a lot of highlight clips of my fights. I'll do like, hey, one after, you know, like, hey, this is, and I'll have the good and bad in it, right? And everyone was asking like, oh, after your last fight with the Scrapyard, because everything's recorded for you, like, what are your plans? And I'm like, I have 2 epic reels planned. The first one is going to be like my best fight highlights from all 5 fights. I have 6 matches. I had a jiu-jitsu match but I don't call it a fight. But I'm gonna make an epic video that's like all the cool moments I had, and then when everybody's thinking like, oh man, Bryan's highlighting this, I'm gonna release another reel, which is me getting the fucking shit beat out of me. Every single time I've just eaten a punch, fallen to the ground, got KO'd, got fucking tapped, whatever. That's going to be in its own reel, and it's going to get the same level of effort and editing and whatnot as like the pro one.
Yeah.
I can't wait to put that out because I know people are going to be like, dude, why? Like, what is the point of this?
No,
I'm like,
I love that.
Dude, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, why not?
So I absolutely love that. And so actually my absolute all-time favorite Muay Thai fighter wasn't always the greatest. He has a couple world champions and he fought Sanchai, but his name is Kevin Ross.
Okay.
So American Muay Thai fighter, big time. He was originally out of Master Toddy's gym in Las Vegas, where my Ajahn Master Sauhin Srisuk, he was brought over by Master Toddy from Thailand. He was like, they're like, we need to get him over here. And so that's a little bit of the lineage. But my favorite fighter, but he did a highlight reel years and years ago. And he was like, he did a post where he got hit by, I think it was his guy's name is Sakadao, hit with an overhand elbow, basically a chopped elbow. And he even says in his interview, it looks like he get hit in the head with an axe.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And he wants to keep fighting and stuff like that, but he highlights not only the good parts, but the bad parts, the tough parts, like him getting swept and then coming back from that, like the rise back and stuff like that. So, and one of his interviews, he said it was very important to him to not only highlight the good parts, but the tough parts, the things that he had to overcome, because you don't want to skew your audience. Like that one time you get hit with a jab, they're like, I've never seen you got hit before. It's like creates like an unrealistic embodiment.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, and also too, I think a lot of that goes into like the entertainment aspect of it too. Like I love fighting. I love the training. I love to watch it, but like I really do like the entertainment value on it. And I like to be known as like the entertaining guy, right? Mm-hmm. So like if the most entertaining aspect of my fight is me getting just absolutely fucking mollywopped, then like I'm showing that. Like I'm sorry.
Show that, but like, don't be that guy.
Hopefully I'm not, but like I've been there, right? I'm not embarrassed in the slightest to be like, hey, watch me get my ass kicked. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's happened and it was a good experience. I needed to feel it. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Just anybody. No. I totally get. Anybody listening, don't go into the sport being the guy that's gonna get kicked in the nuts without, you'll be that guy like, kick me in the nuts, bro, just for entertainment purposes. Like you never want to be that guy. That's not combat sports. But it has to be entertaining. And if it wasn't so entertaining, it wouldn't be as popular as it is.
Yeah.
So, just to anybody out there that's listening and enjoys combat sports, or even wants to do it, wants to try it, or just likes to watch it, just likes to hear about it, just likes to be around people that do it. Yeah. Maybe they work next to somebody. Find a way to support that. Because as a coach, as a business owner, as a former fighter, and you're a fighter and you're training all the time, like we can attest to how difficult it is. And we're talking about not only the physicality difficulties of training, which everybody knows about, but keeping up on the daily stuff that we talked about, the bills and all that stuff, keeping up on nutrition, sleeping, which I know almost no fighters eat properly and sleep properly at all times. And just trying to do all these things. Sometimes just having somebody pat you on the back, support you through social media, especially like we do this knowing people are going to hate on us.
100%.
We know it. Don't so you coming up or somebody coming up and throwing some shade, it was like, that's nothing new. Yeah. But to somebody that reaches out and supports, that could make everybody's fucking day, man.
100%.
So thank you to anybody that's done that to me, for me, and helped me in any way. The community is why I do this. It means a lot to me, the community support for everything that I've done, like just how many people have reached out and really supported. And there's a little bit of hate here and there, and that's fine. That's normal. And here's the other thing. It's not like you're a full-time hater or you're a full-time, supporter. It's like, so Shane Gillis, he does that joke about racism. Yeah. It's not like, it's like you're permanent. It's just like, you're not right now. Yeah. So it's like sometimes you're supporting right now. Sometimes you're not supporting right now. And that's any aspect. I'm not going to get into that joke because.
No, I agree.
But again, like, it was funny because I was watching people's reaction to that, reaction videos. And it was like, everybody fucking loves it because it's so true.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. But it's like, I know people that they're like, I love what you do here. I hate what you do here. I'm like, Valid,
yeah.
Cool.
And what I like, if somebody's able and willing to give me feedback, right? Because like, if somebody just says, "Hey, this sucks," or whatever, I'm not just like, "Oh, well, fuck off," whatever. I'm like, "Why does it suck?" Like, is it because like you're just genuinely hating? Like, is the content bad? Is the skill you're seeing or what I'm trying to display bad? Like, could you give me some feedback? And like, there's been a couple times where someone just gives me nonsense, but there's been a couple times somebody said like, "Oh, like, you know, the camera angle or like the way that you're using with the light hits," and I'm like, that's good fucking advice. And now I'm like, hey, thank you, because you helped me make my shit better. So thanks for being a hater. You know what I mean?
So, and that's what I would say is like, that's more feedback coming from a hater spot. So here's kind of my thing is like, I don't know where this really even comes from for me, but I don't call people names even in arguments. I'm like, you fucking bitch or anything like that. I don't do that. I'd be like, this is where you're fucking up. And you did this, and this is what this, and then they're like, so like I'll sit there and explain to people. So it's like you're getting feedback, not hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I could just call you a fucking name. Anybody can call names. Not everybody's willing to give that feedback.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always go over well. Because
it almost makes it easier if somebody's going off on you and they are calling you names. Because you're like, oh, this is emotionally charged. And they're just saying shit, whatever. When someone's like calmly dismantling you, you're like, oh, ooh, fuck, this hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're cutting you down with some sharp knives. You're like, fuck. Like, this guy got me. Well, and some of that's... it's not always good for long-term relationships.
That's fair.
Be like, bro, like, you know my weakest points, and you cut me down.
Just keep bringing them up.
I'm like, you shouldn't have came at me wrong, bro. Fucking should have came at me with that emotion. But no, just back to it. Like, social media is a fucking monster. So for guys like us to decide not only to bang away at our craft, but to showcase it to the world, it's not easy. Support or not being supported, choosing to do it in the very beginning. I think I don't want to say it's like here's not a bravery thing, but it's like facing the fire. You know what I mean? You're gonna do it whether or not it goes well or if it doesn't. And again, that just brings it back to me saying thank you to the community, because without the feedback and the support of the community, what we do here would have just fizzled out. And that's anybody out there that's supported me or you or what we do as a community, because we can tear each other down or we can build each other up. And it just depends on what kind of time we want to take, and invest our time in. So, shout out to everybody from my boy Steve out at the Scrapyard and the whole community there to, the local MMA scene, local community out here in the Pacific Northwest. And I just can't thank everybody enough, man. It just means the world to me because, as I said to Jeff Hoiby, shout out to my dog, everything I want to do in life is now revolving around combat sports. So like I want to build a community. I want to keep doing the mouth guard thing. I want to keep doing the podcast. I want to have guys like you on and be able to showcase yourself, showcase your story, talk about why you do what you do and what adjustments you make, what you got coming up kind of thing, support you here, you know? So just thank you and thank you guys, everybody out there.
So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. What else do you want to say? We've been going for a little over an hour.
Oh, shit, we have, huh? Oh,
it goes by
Time
fast.
goes fast.
Everybody says they're like, oh my God, it's been that long? Like their alarm goes off, they're like, oh shit, I gotta go.
No, I mean, I'm good. No, I appreciate you having me on. And it's nice. For me, this is the first time I've actually gotten to like sit across from somebody. I've done a lot of like virtual talks and whatnot, and that's cool. I very much appreciate all the ones of those that I've done. But there's just something different about getting to sit across, like person to person, just actually having a conversation. So I appreciate what you got going on, and I really do. I don't know. For me, I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about me, right? Because it's like, hey, I'm not the best fighter. I know that. Some people think that like I do this just for like shits and giggles. I mean, to be honest, part of that is true, but also like a lot of people don't take me seriously either because of like, hey, I've only fought at the Scrapyard and whatnot. And like, I understand, like I get it, right? But like for me, I genuinely am just happy to be here doing it. Like, and again, maybe this resonates with, some people who are watching, but like, I've struggled with self-image issues my whole life. I've a lot of mental health problems. I mean, to be completely transparent, I mean, the last time I tried to kill myself was September of last year. Okay. Like, so,
damn, brother.
Yeah. So it's one of those, like, none of this is anything I ever expected to happen because I genuinely figured I wouldn't be alive. So everything to me now is like, well, fuck it. If I'm already out here just doing my thing, I might as well at least have some fun before I fucking go out. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm doing what I want. You know, and I understand like that may rub some people wrong, especially what the comment I made earlier about going pro. Right? I don't think I need 10 more fights before I can go pro. Right? But the reality is like that's not gonna happen. I'm likely only gonna have a couple more, and then I'm going for it. Like I have goals I have to accomplish, and I have the avenue and the route I need to go, and I know it's gonna rub some people wrong to go that way, but it's like, hey, I'm doing this for me, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I go out and I go pro and I make it, let's say I go to BKFC, I have 3 BKFC fights, and I win fucking 0 of them, I can still hang my hat on that. To me, that's more than I ever thought I would do, and I'm okay being like, okay, I'm done. I'm a retired pro fighter now. You know what I mean? And there's gonna be some people out there like, you were the worst pro I've ever seen. I'm like, okay, like, but I still went out and did it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and I think that's a great test about doing things on your own terms and defining your own level of success.
Yeah.
Because some people out there, and I'll get to my second part of this in a second, but to some people out there, you ain't shit unless you're the best. And like, how long is any one person the best?
Yeah.
There isn't, in my opinion, Michael Jordan. But and I have a very strong opinion. Go ahead and question me on that. But the second part is this sport, in any aspect of anything I've ever seen in my life, this sport is a sport where you constantly have to prove how valid you are. Constantly show that you're improving and getting better, constantly expected to fight better and better and better opponents and win each time. Otherwise, you're not the guy.
Yeah.
And everyone will tear you down. And so it's a tough sport again. And that doesn't stem from social media.
No.
That stems from other gyms being like, no, that gym sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that comes from like, oh no, don't go fight on that promotion, come fight on my promotion.
Yeah.
From the like, we don't have a pool to draw from. We need to protect what we already have.
Yeah.
You know, with whatever by any means necessary for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you got such a big fucking pool to draw from for fighters that nobody needs to bicker about who like filling fight cards or anything like that. But to constantly have to prove like my gym's better than that gym, it's like it really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Because what does that definition look like? What does my definition of success look like compared to yours, compared to the next fucking guys? We have brand new students, we have high level students, we have pros, we have people that we have people that only do Muay Thai or only do Jiu-Jitsu. We have people that do MMA, so they do both sides of it. We have people that stay in-house. We have people that cross-train. We have every level of experience for coaching. Like, I don't even get into that, but like, you know, like, it just depends on opinion. It's all based on opinion. You could have one person that's like a super high level. That person retires. Now your gym's nothing. Or to somebody your gym is nothing. Or like I always constantly talk about, I'd rather build a team and build members of that team that support the team than to build up fighters that look at themselves as an individual and don't worry about the team.
That's a good point.
You know, team comes first, not an individual. And we develop the culture based on that. And that's just something that, like at Streets of Muay Thai, that we take very seriously, is developing that culture. There's no one person above Muay Thai, and that includes the coaches. Muay Thai and any sport that we do, it takes a village. And you could be the village leader, but you're not the only one in that village. So, and that goes down to the day one students, the ones walking in and they're like, hey man, like we want to have a warm introduction for you. You know, like, hey, we got some new students. One thing I will say, combat sports for the most part is a self-starter thing. So don't expect to walk into it as a day one and you're getting privates one-on-one with coaches. That does not happen. So anybody out there looking to get into combat sports, just walk in with a grain of salt, understand that it's going to take you probably 6 months before you really start having a good understanding and start seeing the results you want to see. So try to go into any of these environments with an understanding like that. Like anybody knows how to shoot a basketball, right? You're not going to go out there and expect to shoot a basketball or like play with the varsity team.
Right off the bat.
Kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't remember where I got this from. There said like you could be a run. You know how to run, but you don't know how to run like a trained runner.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So there's just a lot to go into that. I'm talking deep about the gym. Going off on tangents, but yeah.
No. I think like at least for me, speaking for myself, right? Like I'm very realistic in my expectations, right? Like I started all this later in life. I so wish I did this earlier. Like I look back and I'm like, man, I asked my parents like, why couldn't you like force me to do taekwondo or something as a kid? You know what I mean? But instead I played football. But then it's just like, I enlisted in the Army at 17. I moved out and left when I was 18. I was overseas when I was 19. And then like now, I'm a disabled vet. Like I was medically retired. I'm 100% total and permanent through the VA. Like it's a miracle I'm even medically cleared to fight. I mean, my doctors don't want me to fight as is, but they're like, dude, I'll sign this fucking paperwork. But they're like, please keep this short. So like I already know when I go to get that physical to apply for my pro license, my doctor's literally going to be like, dude, like for real? And I'm gonna be like, hear me out, okay? You know what I mean?
But I can do it.
But it's just like, dude, and I'm not trying to just like downplay my own abilities. I'm just being realistic. But like, dude, you're not gonna see me like with a belt, probably. You're not gonna see me in UFC or Bellator or fucking One or anything. But like, I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna get after it. I'm gonna train for it to the best of my ability that I can. But like, I'm not embarrassed to go out and lose. I'm gonna go out and give it my all and just be honest about it. If I have a couple fights and I'm literally just like, holy shit, dog, I ain't it, then I need to know that. Like, I need to feel that. I can't just have somebody to say, hey, dude, you shouldn't try this because X, Y, Z. It's like, no, I need to fucking go try it. And then if I go out and I fail on my own accord. And I can live with that. You know what I mean?
I look at those diagnoses as, because I blew out my lower back, my L5S1, and they're doing the whole thing like, oh, you probably shouldn't, like, it's gonna suck that you're never gonna be able to do this again. And I'm like,
you're like,
so, but understanding also that these people don't have the perspective that you do. They don't understand you. They don't know what you're willing to even overcome. It's not that they don't understand that you can't overcome. They don't know what you're willing to overcome, and just constantly like overcoming these little battles, it creates that level of resiliency that takes you through the next day and daily life, to the point where like a doctor's opinion for somebody that doesn't have that level of resilience might be like, okay, well, I need to trust an authority at this position. And that's why you come to a doctor in the first place, because they know more than you at that point, hopefully. But understanding yourself a little bit better, I think that's more important. Understanding like I'm capable. This means more to me than a little bit of pain or somebody telling me I shouldn't.
And honestly though, like I was the person you're just describing. So before I, walked into that jiu-jitsu gym, right? Like I kind of did some sports as an adult. I was a distance runner when I was in the Army, just because it worked out with everything I was doing. And then I had a whole bunch of injuries, and then I powerlifted for a while, and I got hurt doing that, and I kind of was in this slump. And it was where it was like, okay, doctors told me that I shouldn't be doing any of this stuff. And I'm like, it's a doctor, I should listen. And that was when I was the most depressed I've ever been in my life. I had no goals. Like I was succeeding in life per se, right? I had a job. I was making money. I have a family. I have a house, right? But just like I felt so unfulfilled. I was like, I have no goals. I have nothing I'm working towards. Like I have life figured out, quote unquote. Why don't I feel good about it? And then it wasn't really until I started training jiu-jitsu again, and they're like, dude, get back into competing. And I went out on the jiu-jitsu mats at the Rev with 2 months of experience. I got my fucking ass whooped. But it made me go, holy shit. Like I feel that fire again, right? And it's not that I'm trying to discredit my doctors, right? But it's also just like, dude, if the worst thing that happens is I just get more injured, it's like I'm already fucking in pain all the time anyway. Like I'll just be more injured then. But like at least let me go try this. So that's kind of where I'm at.
I love that. So. Well, that feeling like you feel alive again.
Yes.
You feel like that passion again about life and about doing something. And that's why I think that like again, success looks like different things to different people, because like on paper, maybe they're like, all right, what do you do? So it's like that movie Fight Club. He's like, all right, every year I call home to dad. He's like, what should I do now? He's like, oh, go to college. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, now get a job, now get married. And it's like, you're checking off somebody else's fucking boxes.
Yeah.
What does your box look like to you that you need to start checking off? And so many people, like I said, and everybody's got to fucking work. So I'm not downplaying working.
Yeah.
And I work a lot. I work 2 businesses. So
Yeah.
I don't have a fucking choice.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go well, it's on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So if I don't make money today and there's no food in the fridge, I'll eat tomorrow. I'll eat kind of thing.
Yeah.
So but I see so many people, they struggle in their daily lives just working a 9 to 5. And then they race home from there just to go sit on the couch or just to go do basically nothing.
Yeah.
And that is their priority. Like, I can't wait to get off this work to go do nothing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the absence of passion.
Yeah.
Like you're going, and again, we're deep into combat sports and stuff like that, but find a passion out there. Like, go play softball.
Yeah, go do something.
Skateboard.
Move.
Yeah, just go move. Go for a fucking walk.
Yeah.
Dude,
can we talk about how good it actually feels to just go for a fucking walk, by the way?
Oh my God, I love it.
And if you had told me at 18 that I'd say this comment and now almost 34, I'd be like, you
bunch of
fucking
walks,
gay?
too.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, dude, just the other day, I'm waiting for my daughter's bus to come. And I came out there like 10 minutes early. And there's the bus comes right to this park, and it's a big circle park with it. And I'm just walking outside. The sun's on my skin. And I'm like,
so good.
dude. And like the wind's blowing a little bit. I'm like, dude, this is just fucking nice. And I'm like, I felt better just going for a walk. And I'm like, man, I should do this more. I should get outside more. You know what I mean? And I know we're, with just the lifestyle we generally live, it's hard because we're busy with work, we're busy with hobbies and whatnot. But like, man, I've been trying to make an effort to just be outside more, just exist. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny you say that. So I just walked the whole entire waterfront basically on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so hot. It just went, like, right at dusk. A bunch of family was here. And so walked from one end to the other and then back, from, actually it wasn't from one. It was basically like the lobster shop down to the very end of the marina and then back. But it took a while, but it was so nice. It was so fun. And then and I take my dog for walks all the time. Like, I'm right over here by PLU. Yeah. And going, like, walking the campus, it's nice. But just getting out, just moving. Yeah. Yeah. And
you feel better.
Well, it's so funny. They talk about, like, that kills depression and, like, so much of this stuff. But, like, just getting back to it, like, get out, get moving, do something. Don't race home to do nothing. Yeah. Don't waste your life, please. Like, I know a lot of people are going to push back on that, too. They're like, fuck that. I work so hard. I just want to relax. And it's like, that's fine, too. Yeah. Because, like, if you're a fucking iron worker, you know what I mean? Or something, like, if you're something that's completely labor demanding, I'm not saying go work a 12-hour fucking shift and then go do Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu for a couple hours. Like, there's like you said earlier, there's a energy amount that you have. Like, I always say, like, it's like your phone's battery. You're not going to be able to charge this from when you leave your house in the morning to when you get back home from training. So I'd always say to a lot of our students, it's like, if you're training hard, leave yourself just enough battery to get home and refuel. Yeah. Like, that should be your priority. And
and I think it's just, going back to a statement I made earlier, is just kind of being realistic with yourself and recognizing, like, where your battery's at, right? So, like, for me, for this week, I'm already telling you right now, I know Sunday I'm sleeping in and I'm not doing anything. One, because my wife and kids aren't there. But two, because every day this week, Monday through Saturday, I am training or competing on Saturday. And days like tomorrow, I have a boxing lesson and jiu-jitsu. And then Friday morning, I have a jiu-jitsu class, boxing lessons, second jiu-jitsu class, and then I'm driving down to Vancouver to go roll at an open mat at my buddy's gym, to drive back that night to go compete Saturday. Sunday, I'm not doing shit because I recognize I'm going to be tired, I'm going to be sore. I need that at least a day to recover because I signed myself up for too much fucking shit. Yeah. So, and it's just like, dude, I'm not getting any younger. I'm not 19 years old anymore where I can get shit sleep and do stuff every day. Yeah. Like, I feel like shit,
Well, a lot of people that don't address that sort of thing is, they don't understand, like, when you're younger, your hormones are fucking sky high. Oh, yeah. You don't need to do shit really to have proper, or like, your hormones could be out of whack. But most young men, like, you deplete your hormones going that hard. So when you do 4 sessions and a long ass drive to and from, is that Columbia River?
Yeah, we're going down there to see
Naughty
Naughty
Nate.
Nate. Yes, I'm going to see him
Shout
this
out
Friday.
to Naughty Nate.
I've been talking about going down there for so long, but it's just like, I don't like to give up time with my family. So it's like, okay, my wife and kids are out of town. I was like, shit, I got nothing going on. I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah, dude. I'm driving, after I finish my stuff, I'm driving down there. I'm going to go roll with the dudes down there, hang out a bit, and I'm going to drive my tired ass back home. Yeah. You know, because why not?
But you can enjoy that. You can enjoy
100%.
And that drive time is going to give you a lot of time to reflect, a lot of time and on those 4 sessions, and then what you got coming up the next day, there's going to be plenty of stuff to think about and all that stuff. So it's not really like wasted time or anything like that. I think that's really good, man. Yeah. So, yeah, that's awesome. So Nate's another one out there that, you know, is an awesome dude, runs the Forever a White Belt podcast and stuff like that. Trains a lot out at, I don't know if he coaches. Does he coach too? I think he coaches,
He's one of the coaches.
Because we were talking about that actually. But yeah, it's just more members of the community.
Yeah.
You know.
And, you know, Nate, you know, shout out Nate if he sees this. Nate's been a huge supporter of me as well. He's cornered me for, I think, 2 of my fights. He's been a referee for 2 or 3 of them. And then, you know, we talk on social media all the time. I actually am a sponsor of the Forever White Belt podcast.
I saw
now.
that. That's awesome.
That was one of the first podcasts that I did. So I'm happy to, you know, I like the platform he has to try to help the scrapyard fighters get out there and put themselves out. Because not everybody's the best at self-promotion and whatnot. And I mean, honestly, like, until you've been given the opportunity to sit and talk with somebody about something, like, you may never know, like, how it's going to go, what you're going to say, or like how it will be received, right? Exactly. So like it's a really good first step for some of these guys to like get out there and like tell the world, like, who are you? Like maybe you got some viral clips online. That's what happened with me, right? My first fight ended in 35 seconds, right? And my shit went viral. And it was like, all of a sudden now it's like people want to know, like, dude, I want to talk to this guy, right? And like I sat down and talked with Nate and it was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like people want to listen to me? What? Like, you know?
Yeah. That's really cool. And I like being able to do that for the community as well. You know? Nate's awesome. He actually made sure that I got in to help referee. There was short one referee.
Yeah, I remember seeing the photos.
Scrapyard, and I forget the guy's name, but they call it the puke fight. You know, because he was about to puke, started dry heaving over in the corner.
I saw your face reaction in the photo.
Like, bro, because that picture was literally when he's dry heaving in the bucket. I was like, and then I'm about to raise homeboy's hand. And then somebody says something, I can't remember what they said, something really nasty, and then I got the face again. I'm like, But yeah, it was that was a lot of fun. Just I help referee at the gym and stuff like that. Because crew Bryan Jones Jr. Has ref thousands of fights. Yeah. So probably second or third to only like a few guys, and like obviously Jeff Hoiby. Yeah. Fucking that's my dog, Jeff Hoiby. Jeff the ref, but he refs everybody. Yeah. But for a long time, Bryan was reffing a ton too. So there's only a handful of refs in the state that have done as much or more as he has. So he highly encourages me, and so does Jeff, to get into refereeing. Yeah. It's something I have a lot of fun with, but I talk with Crew Jones about everything, all the hoops I have to jump through. I'm like, fuck, that makes me not want to do it.
So, you know, it's funny because I actually had messaged Jeff and him and I had chatted because my goal with doing refereeing is to referee solely at the scrapyard. And they want somebody who either has previous referee experience or has previous like pro fight experience or they're a trained coach. And I'm like, well, out of all these, like, you know, maybe I'll go be a pro fighter one day and I'll get that experience. But I asked Jeff about like, are there courses out there, like somebody who would like be able to mentor me and do this? And like he would, you know, provide me some great info. Because I told him, I was just like, I'm not looking to actually go out and like, you know, compete with other people to go referee at these events and whatnot. Like I want to help out at the scrapyard community and whatnot. But I want to make sure that I'm actually trained and qualified to do it. And it's because like right now, like, could I referee a fight? Like, I don't know, probably, but would it be very good? Probably not, you know? So it's like, I need to go learn the things I need to know to go actually do it. So it's a benefit to the community, right?
Yep. So, well, and then the multiple avenues of combat sports, so like MMA and boxing, and they do kickboxing and Muay Thai out there. Like one of my favorite fights I saw, there was actually a really clean Muay Thai fight one day, right before I had to leave to go to Koga at one point. But I'm like, that was actually a really fucking clean fight. Yeah, you know,
dude,
like,
there's some good ones for sure. Yeah, they don't get a lot of Muay Thai though, but there has been several good Muay Thai fights I've seen.
That's my shit. Yeah, that's why I'm like, ooh, I know what all this is. So, but yeah, so it's just fun because I know like primarily like you're fighting out of the scrapyard, and we talked
Yeah.
about it a bunch on the podcast, and I've been out there a bunch of really like supporting them. Actually, sponsor Scrapper of the Month through Relentless Mouth
Yeah,
Guards.
yeah.
So each month, a new Scrapper of the Month will be announced and receive a mouth guard and some merch to go along with that.
Yeah.
You know, so just trying to help support Steve and
Yeah.
the communities built out there. They're really supportive. As well as the rest of the Pacific Northwest community. So I can't say that enough. Thank you guys out there for supporting what we do, you know, from the coaching to the podcast to the mouth guards to coming out and doing these shows. It's exactly what I want to do, man. It's so much fun, and I love getting more and more people on the podcast. Yeah. So thank you for coming on as well.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Any other shout outs you want to give or anything before we close out?
I know I did the sponsors already. I've shouted actually to the Scrapyard. I know we've been chatting about them, but just in terms of like, you know, Steve and his wife Mandy and all the staff there. I mean, I've never had a bad event, and I've been to, even though I've fought so far at 5, about to be 6 here soon. I count my jiu-jitsu mats in that. And then I've also been here for the last year's anniversary event, which I didn't have a fight in. I had to leave early. And then, you know, I'm actually trying to be out there this Saturday after the jiu-jitsu comp. If it ends early enough, I told Steve, like, hey, would it be cool if I drove out, just kind of hang out, help out, do whatever. But like, best community out there, super supportive, very welcoming to anybody who wants to come in. And like, I fully acknowledge that if it wasn't for the Scrapyard and their exposure and support, that like I wouldn't be in the position I'm in with the opportunities that I've had, right? Because it was like, hey, they were the ones that, you know, basically gave me the platform to go out and showcase myself, and they're the ones who made the videos and put it out there, and the ones that went viral that drew all the attention to me, like that came from them. And that wasn't like they just did it for me, they do that for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's a great tool and a great resource if you are trying to get yourself out there, which is funny just for me because like that wasn't really my goal, to actually just go out and like, you know, put myself out there and get noticed. It just kind of happened, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. You know what I mean? But I wanted to go out and test myself, right? So I was like, hey, dude, my buddy Lou at Logic, shout out to Lou if he sees this, he was the one that was like, dude, you should sign up for a Scrapyard fight. Go out, like try an MMA fight and like see if you're about this or not. Because I had originally been like, hey, dude, I want to sign up for like a regular amateur fight. And he's just like, you don't train in an actual gym. You've been training jiu-jitsu for like 2 months, bro. He's just like, I would highly recommend you go try this first. And then I did, and I immediately was like, this is it. Like, I'm that person. You know what I mean? And so again, thank you, Steve, Mandy, staff, Scrapyard. So,
Yeah. You guys already know I love showing up and supporting as well.
Yeah.
I think that you actually made, before we close out, you made a really good point right there. You went out there to see if you're about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think some people look at that because of their platform. They have fucking so many viewers, millions of viewers, more than any other promotion in Washington State by a lot. So I do think people look at that as a way to get themselves bigger without having to have the skill set or to put that skill set in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm saying that it's just another way to get out there. But for anybody listening that does do the Scrapyard or is looking at it, there's a lot so first of all, if you're not sure how it works, they have a tiered system. So it's like 0 through 5. So 0 is obviously the beginner level. 0 level 1 is very, very beginner. You don't train at a gym. You don't have any experience. You don't have any fights, kind of thing. And I know as you climb that, you get all the way up to, I think, just high level amateur. I think they don't let pros fight.
Yeah, so level 5 is like what they would say a pro, or it's like a belt holder at the yard. They basically say like, hey, if you are the 205 MMA belt holder, like October's right now, he has to fight anybody. So it's not like, oh, hey, that guy's too advanced, I can't fight him. Like, you're the belt holder, dog. You gotta fight him. You know what I mean?
So, and I really like that. So it's not like you're gonna go out there and be like some crazy good dude going out and fighting a can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Steve and Mandy for doing a great job matchmaking and doing stuff like that. They run it from behind the scenes as professionally as I've seen most of these like other events. Not as professional, because like you're gonna understand that it is an outside setting and all these sort of things. But not taking anything away from that, but they have a full staffed medical tent to where they're very adamant about you will not get in there to fight, and you will not walk around afterwards. You will come check in with the doctor afterwards. They don't play games along that, and I've seen other promotions where they don't promote as the medical check-ins as much. So On the backside of things, I was very impressed on how seriously he takes it.
Yeah.
I know that he had said when they split from the street beefs that they weren't as concerned about a lot of these things, and that was I'm not going to speak for Steve and talk about all that stuff, but I know that they were like, not as concerned about the medical tent and certain things. I think they've kind of changed their tune a little bit, but I don't follow the
I don't really either, and
beef,
I don't know a whole lot about like what went down with like the separation and whatnot, and it's one of those things too where like it's not my business to speak of anyway, So, and I don't want to also misquote anybody either, so it's like I'd rather just say nothing about it,
Right.
So.
Well, and I think again, all I'm saying here is that I really appreciate the fact that they take it seriously.
100%.
And fighters' health is something that we don't even look at our own health as closely as we probably should. So to have a staff member make sure that we're checked on, it's a big fucking deal.
And also, like, comment for for anyone who's watching that's not familiar with this, like, as a scrapyard fighter who's been knocked out at the yard, they made me go get actual outside medical attention before they let me fight again. Yeah. So they issue like a form, like if you've been knocked out or you had a broken bone or serious
like a
injury,
medical suspension.
Yeah, and so they're the nurses there fill out the form, and you have to get it signed by a licensed provider, and they actually go in the system to make sure that it's a real licensed provider, and you didn't just take it to somebody because they're all active medical professionals, right? But so I had to go to urgent care and get an actual doctor to come look at me and whatnot. I had to go to Multicare's like concussion rehab clinic after my last knockout because it was my second knockout that I happened, and it happened to be like less than 60 days from the previous one. So they're like, dude, you have to actually get medically, like for real medically cleared. So I went through a whole program, had all the documentation, and I had to give that to them before they'd say, you're good to fight again, or else they wouldn't let you. I appreciate that because they're not just going to let you go out there, get knocked out 10 times in a row every single month and be like, yeah, dude, keep showing up. They could, if they just wanted views, 100%, that would get views, right? But like, I genuinely feel like they value my health and safety, and I appreciate that, for real.
You just touched on something huge right there. So that's something that some people that don't know the scrapyard or don't understand is that is something that is invaluable. So just the fact that somebody is going to make sure that you are taken care of, like going above and beyond. Like if they hadn't done that, would you have gone and done that level of?
I mean,
checking? For yourself?
Probably not.
Probably not. No. I wouldn't have.
No, yeah.
I would have trusted myself, which is, I'm uneducated in that.
Yeah, like, me too.
I'm Joe Rogan educated. Yeah. So fucking, I hope they're right. Yeah. Type shit. So, but just for what you said right there, that level of medical caution.
Yeah.
And precaution to protect not only you, but the organization that they're trying to build and the community, and the fact that you appreciate that builds on the fact that the community. It's not like you don't feel like a throwaway here. Or
for sure.
You're just somebody that's not valued, and you're just somebody there so they can get views. And
100%.
It's just layers on layers. And if you guys don't see anybody that supports me but doesn't understand why I support Steve and what he's trying to do, these are the things that I'm trying to explain when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And like it or not, it's huge and it's here to fucking stay.
Yeah.
So, they just put out the clips of them being on the Shane Gillis and his
their
buddy.
podcast.
Their podcast, and then the Joe Rogan podcast. They were talking about it too.
There's a full documentary coming out from Generation Iron based on them, and I believe my fight with Baylor back from when was that? January or February of 25 was actually is in that documentary.
That's cool.
And then, which is cool. But again, did it make the final cut? I have no idea. But I just know the crew was there filming when all that was going on.
Yeah.
But like,
awesome.
Their social media presence, huge. They, in my opinion, like they are a very legit organization. I just know, and I'm very well aware of from the outside perspective of what they might come across as, especially if, and again, I'm not dogging anybody who fights, but like they are very good at those level 0 fights of two, like they're really entertaining to watch. I mean,
that's what
and
it
again,
is. It's
I don't blame anybody for it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
awesome to watch. But I think a lot of people will associate them as an organization only with the level 0 fights. And I'm like, I have seen so many great fighters fight there. I mean, Terrifier is a great example. Like, he was a scrapyard fighter. Like, there's
he's a scrapyard fighter, and he's fighting, I think, next month for LFA.
Yeah. And this is his 3rd or 4th pro fight, I think. And I know he
Third?
won it. He for
I think
sure
it's
won his last
third.
two. I
Yeah,
know
I was
that.
there at the media
Yeah.
booth when he won his last fight.
Yeah.
He's another one with repping Relentless Mouth Guards, Luther Terrifier. Appreciate you, big dog. But he not only that, Luther's fucking marketable.
Oh, 100%. Dude, when he came out for his second fight, I was like, damn, this dude knows how to market. This is the first thing I went to. I'm like, genius.
Yeah, it was
absolutely
so
genius.
awesome. Came out with got the red hair and the fur coat and giving out roses and shit and singing. I was dying the entire time.
Dude, and like it's funny. I was talking with somebody else about this. Like, it was just like a casual conversation of just like, now marketability is huge. And I don't want to say it's not about the quality. I'm not trying to say it's not about your ability to fight. It certainly is. But like the fighter who's really great but doesn't know how to market themselves whatsoever isn't going to get the same opportunities as the moderate to decent fighter who's exceptional at marketing. If you're able to go out there and people remember you as like, holy shit, that's that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like the opportunities you get from that are huge.
Two things I want to say that before, because we have to close out. But we'll just talk about the scrapyard. I was at fucking Delaware, at the IFMA Muay Thai tournament, the Worlds tournament. And that's some dude, like, I've been coaching for a long time. Some dude came up and was like, have I seen you at the scrapyard? I was like, yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean, not as a fighter, obviously, but just being there and being present. And then I was like, because like I cornered Crazy Legs last fight, and like he broke dude's nose. And I was like, that has nothing to do with me. He just went out there and did his thing. But it's just interesting, like having that, like all of a sudden, like I can do all this stuff. I'm seeing all these other people and like creating Muay Thai, like Shane Faison, if you know who that is, fight tips. He's a big long time dude on. He said he just deleted his social media. We'll see. But like a bunch of these guys that do like fight videos or like instructionals and things like this have huge social media followings. I'm seeing all them, and I had somebody ask me to see me from the scrapyard. And again, it just shows the reach.
Yes.
But secondly, to your point, you just had Julie Jacobo come on, and she's the one that just flew to Thailand in WBC, fighting over there. She said the exact same thing, and she was like, I was like, what sort of advice would you give to an up-and-coming fighter that looks at you as inspiration and wants to follow in those footsteps? And she was like, not only her crew, but the president of the WBC, which I believe is Patrick Riviera, who's somebody, quick backstory, is he got his crew in his very first crew under Master Soundhin. So it's such a weird lineage, fucking connect the dots thing in Muay Thai. But he said to her, I'm quoting Julie, or misquoting her probably, but you could be the best fighter in the world with zero social media following and you mean nothing to the world. Yeah. So, I mean, like what you expect a promoter to go and dig you up, or you're going to get lucky because you know somebody that knows somebody. Yeah. And that doesn't happen near as much as being like, I want that guy that I see all the time on social media.
100%.
Big fucking difference. And anybody who wants to bash the social media thing, all of the high level fucking pros do it now. Yep. You look at Rampage, he just bought like a $5 million house for a media house in like LA or Vegas or some shit.
His streams are so fucking good. So fucking good.
He's like so unfiltered and unhinged. I'm like,
his chat just trolls the shit out of him. Dude, okay, I gotta make a comment on the first comment you made. Yeah. Right. So similar experience. So my first 2 fights of the scrapyard, I had my mustache, and I was known as like the mustache ride guy. Because for those who don't know, at the scrapyard, like they put a camera in front of you. Mm-hmm. Not normal at most promotions, especially before. If you win a fight, cool, maybe you get it, right? But before the fight, you're getting
seconds before the ref calls you out.
Yes. So I've watched all the videos, and again, I show up for my first fight, and then there's a camera in my face, and my buddy's like, dude, you got to say something. Like, say something funny. Like, if you got something you want to lean into, like, lean into it. And, like, I had a crazy good mustache, right? And I was like, hey, I'm Bryan the Horn, like, fighting or whatever. And, like, anything else you want to say? I'm like, who's ready for a mustache ride? Yes. And then I sent the dude in a suplex, and everybody's like, holy fuck, that's the mustache ride.
The mustache ride, man.
Flash forward to last summer. I was at WFC fighting out of Rockfest in Wisconsin. Okay. A random person in Wisconsin came up to me and said, bro. And I said, yeah, like kind of weird. He's like, I've seen your videos on YouTube. And I was like, bro, my life's complete. Like, a random person was like, bro, I'm a fan. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to cry.
I love
like,
that,
what?
yeah.
You know what I mean? No.
That's so funny. Actually, that's funny you mentioned the WFC Rockfest because right before that, my dog Eddie Blackburn got me into helping out with some stuff in the WFC. He doesn't support them or promote them anymore, so if he watches, he's probably going to be pissed I even said their name in the same sentence. But anyway, shout out to my dog. You were the one that looked out for me in a lot of ways. But anyway, I remember it was right after that, and I thought that one was locally. So I was like, oh, should I, I'm fucking blah, blah, blah. I was going to try to put something together. And I was just like, that is dope, though, that Rockfest shit. Yeah. So there's a huge, it was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was like 10,000 people.
Yeah, it was rock and MMA.
Yes, and so my set, so it was like a sparring tournament, but we didn't go too crazy hard, right? But like my second fight of that first day was on when Kubla Khan was playing. No shit. Like I'm like, holy shit, this is legit. So it's like literally concert going on right here, thousands of people, MMA cage, and it was like, oh fuck, and we're doing we did kickboxing, but it was like, holy shit,
that's
like,
sick.
It was legit.
That's wild. Because that's just another avenue of something that you don't see, and you see how many people are trying to really implement the entertainment avenue. Because like fights are fights, you can watch fights anywhere now, and I really do love like. What I will say is like you see some of the bigger promotions looking at trying to how we can sell this and differentiate. Yeah. A lot of the smaller MMA shows are like the community-based ones, like the amateur-only shows specifically. Mm-hmm. I really like those probably. I don't want to say more than the pros, but like you see, once you're pros, you're polished. You see a lot of these guys that are polishing as they grow in the amateur sports. And I love to see that. Yeah. So like shout out to my dog Bryan Johnson, Northwest Fight Challenge. I love that fight show because you see a lot of the premier Pacific Northwest amateurs on their way up before they go pro, hitting the higher levels usually on those shows. And some, still some beginners, but really big show. He's been doing it for so long, and a lot of people want to fight for him. Yeah. And they really bring it. And I'm not saying like a lot of these other shows don't, because they all do. Yeah. Everybody that gets in there wants to fight. But another shout out to like Redemption. We're going to be there on July 11th. So that's another one is like you get a lot of the people that are amateurs just getting better, and they can sell that because they haven't made it yet. Yeah. So it's not like, all right, you're tuning in on TV to watch your favorite fighter or to watch an event. Yeah. The event is watching your fighter. You support in the community. Yeah. So the community support is a huge thing for me. I wouldn't want to be known nationally in any way without being known throughout our community. For sure. In any aspect. So yeah, I'm here for us, man. Like, if anything gets built in the future, it's staying out here. As long as Washington don't fucking price me out to where I'm fucking displaced out to Oklahoma and then, some shit like that. So, yeah, anyway, I won't get into all that shit. But running two businesses is like... Yeah. It gets tough, man. So it takes a lot of effort. But what else do you want to say before we close out? I said that like 3 times.
No, I know, man. No, thank you for having me. Thanks to everybody who watches, and thank you to everybody who supports me. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, man. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Anybody, if you don't already, like, subscribe, share, fucking all that good stuff. All the call to actions, man. Like, the support is what really matters for me. And just a quick like you said, a quick message, like, love the episode. Subscribing, following on social media, like that's some of the biggest ones, just so that we can further our reach out as we continue to grow. That's some of the biggest things. And shout out to you for always repping Relentless Mouth Guards.
Of course. I make great products, you know what I mean?
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.